Hello there everybody and welcome back to yet another video, and as you've seen from the title, this is the work that I've done on my Bachmann Midland compound. Before we get into it, there's just two things I'd like to say. Number one, I'd like to thank AD Pullen, who has put a couple of my videos in his channel tabs, and I believe that's responsible for why my videos are going down so well at the moment. Second of all, I would just like to say I am approaching 300 subscribers. At the moment I'm on 293, sorry. Thus, at 300 subscribers, I'm going to do a special. I've never done a special before, and I thought it'd be fun to look at my modelling past, my modelling present, and my modelling future. So, if that's something you care about, subscribe, and at 300 subscribers, I'll start working on that video. Let's get stuck in, shall we? So, a Midland Compound is a strange member of my fleet, really, because traditionally I'm an industrial modeller, as you can see from the videos that I've done in the past. So, this kind of came about because when I was a lot younger in the hobby, when I was 13, 14, when I was just getting back into the hobby, an opportunity was presented to me to have the Bachmann Thames Clyde Express, which is a set that featured a Midland Compound, a looper track, a Bachmann controller, and 3 detailed coaches. I jumped at this opportunity as it was on sale, and thus I ended up with a Midland Compound in my collection. However, it's not got run massively recently because it doesn't fit in with any of the layouts I've got. And I was going to sell it until I saw the prices were only about 50 quid on eBay. So I decided I'd go about modifying the model. So this is what I've done to the model, to make it my own and a little bit more useful to myself. It was stripped of all Midland branding and replaced with LMS branding, as well as a new number 1023. The LMS spacing was different on both sides of the tender, and it was also weathered with grey acrylics. I didn't really like this acrylic, it was too heavy for me, so I decided to strip it away using an etched pen. Now, an etched pen is a little bit like sandpaper, but not quite as harsh, so you can work it through and just pick up bits of paint and take them away, which is useful as there was too much paint on the model in my view, and it was too monotone in colour. So let's continue watching me work my way around the model, taking off bits of paint I didn't like where they were, and always manufacturing a more uniform weathered finish. I tidied it up. I decided that I'd add some soot weathering powder. Now, this was just going to be added to the buffer beams, a little bit on the running board, on the smoke box itself, top of the boiler, a little bit on the top of the tender, and top of the cab as well. As you can see here, I'm doing it on the buffer beams, just using an old Humbrol paintbrush and just wiping it in. This was something I eventually went over off camera, just because I find it quite difficult to do stuff on camera at the moment. But you can get the idea of what I'm doing. I'm just creating a little bit of a darker tone across what is quite a bright buffer beam. Contrary to what I said earlier about not liking the weathering being too heavy on this model, I added some streaking to the tender tops and across down the tender sides, as well as to the frame of the tender itself, the boiler top and the cab as well, using varying tones of soot weathering powder, black acrylic paint, and rail match, roof grime and weathered black. I also went about just dulling down any of the bright colours of maroon on the model, as well as a little bit of work on the underframe. I also added 2 members of Dapol crew and some DJ Models tools, just to add a little bit more detail to the model, as well as some real coal. Now, the model is by no means finished. It still needs to have its new Smokebox number put on the front of it, as well as an all-round neating up, and specifically the neating up of the chassis. It needs a little bit more work, but I'm happy with it for now. So let's get on to the fictional history, shall we? Built in 1905 and rebuilt in 1926, the loco that would become LMS 1023 was built at Derby Works. Upon grouping, the new LMS, mainly ran by Midland men, tested various different Midland designs around the new LMS network. This included their compound, one of which was tested around Stoke, that being 1023. It was used on branch trains through the Potteries and into Staffordshire, before being moved back to its former pastures after 18 months, having found it was not entirely applicable to the former North Staffs region. And that's about it for the fictional history. and via extension the back end of this video. Now, if you enjoyed it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Let me know how I can improve the modelling and the video in the comment section below. Don't forget, 300 subscribers and I'll be doing a fleet-ish video, kind of where I've come from, where I am, and where I'm going with my modelling in the future. That'll be 300 subscribers, and I'll do it in a sort of fleety video. So if that's what you want to see, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you whenever I see you. Ta-ta!